All right, so here's the free response question on classes. So if I were to guess, this is the kind of question that they're going to ask. They're going to give you some output here. So they're going, not output, but a tester class kind of thing. And they're going to tell you what's going to happen. But along with that, they'll also give you specifications and words, because we all learn differently and we all process differently. But the key is, whichever way you process, you got to read. You got to read it all, and you have to understand what they're asking. So what I noticed when you guys were doing this, you missed what previous was supposed to do. So we'll discuss that when we get to it. So first they tell you the name of the class. It says addition pattern class. So from what I could see, most of you had that. Okay, they tell you the 3 methods you're going to write. But then they also tell you, they don't tell you much. They do tell you if this one returns. It says returns. Move to the next pattern. Notice these 2 don't have the word return, so those are not going to be returns. They're going to be voids. Okay. Then we have this kind of testing piece. So the addition pattern here, this tells you right here, I think I can write, yep, this tells you right here, this is the constructor. This tells you this is going to be a constructor, and these 2 things right here generally tell you number and type of fields. Okay, so the number and type of fields. Now, you can create other ones if you think you need them, but in this particular case you didn't, so just so that you're aware. Then you look here at the tester type class that they're giving you, and they're giving you an explanation also. This is very probable, in my opinion, but watch, be wrong. That would suck. Okay, so value returned. So these are the only ones that have returns. So this clears up the fact that if you weren't sure in the other up above, that these 2 are going to be voids. Okay, this is going to be a void, and still so is, well, this is the same one, but previous is going to be a void, and +3 is going to be a void. So method headers are important, and that's what you're looking for here. You're looking return type, obviously the name of it, and any parameters. So none of these have anything in parentheses, so there's going to be no parameters. But this does, so there's going to be parameters here. This one's going to have 2 parameters. These aren't going to have these are going to have no parameters. So you kind of have to look through this in this kind of process. Then, as you can see with previous goes through a process here. So they're at 11, and they go down 3. What do we go down? Yeah, down 3. And then, so we're at 5, and then we come over here. So then they're going down 3 again. The previous number in 2. And then this one goes down. So a lot of you thought that you stopped at 2. And so that if this, I don't know, it's a negative. This particular one, they're very particular about being negative. So your value that you have when you subtract the 3 or whatever number you're subtracting should be positive, and that's what you need to check for. Maybe they weren't very clear in their asking. Okay. But these are all about the specifications here. By no previous number here, no previous number, it's because it's all about positive numbers. They're talking about positive numbers. Second positive integer generates a number pattern with 2 positive. And maybe it wasn't as clear as it probably should have been, but I don't know. It seems obvious to me, so I guess I question that. But it's a they're creating an addition pattern of positive numbers. So if we go backwards, it's not going to be, if you go negative, it's not going to be positive. So that's what we need to check for with previous. Okay, so then to write this, the things that we realize that we need constructors. I probably should have. So you needed to create the class. So public class and addition. So the class, everything should be public except the fields. So these fields must be private in our class. Private int, and I'm going to call mine int current number. Yeah, it's so messy. These is hard to write with. And then, I don't know, I think I just turned it off for a second because they put, whatever, it doesn't matter. So private int, and then the increment. So you don't need more than those two. The answer, I wrote the answers in a Google Classroom. It's listed under free response answers, so if you want to take a look at that. But you have to make the constructor, and please remember the constructor has no return type at all, so it's not void, it's not anything. It's just public and then the name of the class. So it's public pattern or addition pattern. Okay, and you need two variables, both integers. It doesn't matter what you call them. These names, as long as you're consistent with your names and you have them in the right order and things like that, it's fine. So the constructor should initialize these two guys. The first one was the current number, and the second one that they said was what it's incremented by. Okay, the next thing you should worry about, or the next thing you want to discuss in this, make sure you have correct, I guess, is the method headers. So there should be 3 method headers, and you got to get those correct. And then what's inside the method headers isn't all that exciting. Generally, if you have to create a whole class, the actual class is pretty boring. So it's public. You have to remember that all of these have to be public. The only privates are these two. So public int. So current number, please make sure you're using the correct names. So whatever they called it in the method calls, you should call it there. So current number, hopefully I'm doing that. And all you have to do is return the current number. It doesn't really do much, it's just a getter. Okay, so this is the method header, it's important, and then this is just kind of inconsequential. I mean, it's consequential, but you just need to pay attention to it. But the method header is really the more important piece. So the next one is the previous and the next, I believe they're called. Sorry. Yeah. So public void, these only increment or decrement, so they don't return anything or no output. No output, please. And then, so all it needs to do is add to the current number, and this changes this current number and it keeps it accurate. So when I call this one, I don't have anything to do. It just returns what it is. And then the last one, same method header, except this one, you need to check whether it's positive or not. So there's many ways to do that. Gajillion is an estimate that I would give as to how many ways. So the way I did it was I just created a temporary variable. I created a temporary because I didn't want the subtraction. Like I didn't want to actually subtract my current num if they were negative. So I created one that is temporary, and then I just saw if the temporary one is positive, then I can, then current number, excuse me, I could erase. Then my current number is going to be that temporary one that I subtracted. And then if it isn't greater than 0, if it's less than, then it's not going to do anything. So it's going to keep current number the same. Okay, that's the idea. And just so you're aware, positive means greater than 0. Okay, not greater than or equal to 0. So some of you didn't realize this was a question about positive, so that wasn't really an issue. But just remember, positive is greater than 0, and our answer is on this typed out. This whole mess right here typed out is in the Google Classroom under free response question answers. All right, have a good day. I hope this helps.